General Hospital spoilers indicate that Finola Hughes recently revealed the truth behind Anna's Caesar Faison reunion and spilled some behind-the-scenes details about Anders Hove's return. GH fans know Anna is stuck in captivity on Spoon Island, where she's dealing with some serious mental anguish. Pascal hinted about the next phase of Anna's treatment shortly before she began hearing Faison's voice through the speaker system. Of course, Anna has been hesitant to believe that Faison is really alive and back to torment her. However, Faison insisted someone else's brain was in that jar and worked to convince her that she could never truly sever their bond. It's obvious that some dirty tricks are being used to gaslight Anna, but that's definitely Anders Hove's voice being heard on screen. In an interview with SOD, Finola Hughes opened up about reuniting with her co-star in a way that was downright nuts. It turns out Hove recorded his dialogue in Denmark, but he did text Hughes to discuss the scenes in advance. Once it was time for Hughes to film her part, Hove's voice was played on set so that she could react to it. That was a strange yet satisfying experience for Hughes, since Hove wasn't actually in the studio with her. "I was working with him, except he was in Europe and pre-recorded it," Hughes exclaimed. Finola Hughes also appreciated the way GH used Anna's history in this storyline. Anna is dealing with some mind games thanks to Pascal's manipulation, but Hughes seems to be loving every second of this wild ride. "It was a really cool method to tap into Anna's past, her psyche," Hughes said. "And working with Anders, even if he's 9,000 miles away, is always such a treat." In fact, Hughes considers Hove one of her all-time favorite scene partners, so it's nice that they could reunite for this exchange, even if it happened in a weird way. As for what's next, Emma Scorpio Drake will dig deeper for answers about Anna's vanishing act, so she's about to go on a wild ride of her own. General Hospital spoilers say Emma has a traumatizing ordeal ahead of her, so stay tuned for updates on all the alarming news to come. General Hospital spoilers hint that Harrison Chase may soon be back in Willow Kane's bed now that Drew Kane is out of the way. GH viewers were thrown for a loop when Willow injected Drew with a syringe out of the blue. It obviously caught Drew off guard too, as he fell to the floor and lost consciousness in front of Willow. Although Drew will likely survive Willow's plot, he may land in a coma. GH writers may put Drew on ice for a while and let Willow take charge of her own life. Willow is determined to get her kids back, but she might have a little side quest to find love again, too. Despite the show Willow's been putting on for Drew and everyone else, she clearly loathes her husband. It's Chase who's slowly been stealing Willow's heart back, and perhaps she's been stealing his heart back as well. Chase recently defended himself to Tracy Quartermaine, who was concerned about the possibility of him cheating with Willow. Although Chase insisted he'd never do that, temptation may become too much to bear at some point. Chase loves Brooklyn Quartermaine, but the pull he still feels toward Willow is awfully strong. Plus, more marriage issues could be coming up for Brooklyn and Chase, especially if she keeps dragging her feet on the adoption. Chase wants to start a family with Brooklyn, but she may admit she doesn't feel comfortable with that yet. Since Chase has been fixated on Willow and keeps making risky moves, Brooklyn could pump the brakes on the adoption again. The brawl that's brewing between Chase and Michael Corinthos could certainly be a concern for Brooklyn. During a face-off in the January 20 episode, Michael will ask how long until Chase is back in Willow's bed. Chase will hit Michael over that comment and kick off a fierce fight between them. But he might be upset because there's some truth to it. Deep down, maybe Chase really does want more Willow bedroom sessions. Between all the marriage drama and his attraction to Willow, Chase may let passion erupt with her soon enough. With Drew out of the way, there may be nothing holding Chase back from sizzling with his former flame. General Hospital spoilers suggest Chase could be on the verge of a major betrayal. So, stick with us for updates on any cheating news that might be ahead for Brooklyn. General Hospital spoilers suggest Willow Tate Kane gets it honestly. Her craziness, that is. We've watched Willow go from being a shy, meek, and well-mannered out-of-towner to someone who belongs in Port Charles, and maybe in Shady Brook. Growing up in a cult with a mother like Harmony Miller had to be a challenge. But Willow wasn't all that aware that her life was abnormal until she was older. Breaking away from it was traumatic, as she was pregnant with a cult leader's child. But running away didn't work. Her past caught up with her, but she had found Michael Corinthos by then. Of course, she also found Harrison Chase along the way, and then went back to Michael, and then hopped over to his Uncle Drew Kane. Now, it appears she is eyeing jumping back on the Chase train. From Valentine Cassadine giving Nina Reeves an instant family, to Jasper Jax helping Nina lick her wounds after leaving Valentine, to Mike, aka Sonny Corinthos, helping her get away from it all in Nixon Falls, Nina routinely falls for the latest guy to help her ease the ache. Whatever is ailing her, if a guy makes it go away for even the slightest bit of time, she's here for it. At one point, Franco Baldwin was a conspirator and alibi in her time of need, and so, of course, he became her lover, too. It seems like Nina hasn't been all that normal since the days of Silas Clay. Interestingly, when she would have become pregnant with Willow and Nell Benson Jerome. We can't possibly forget how many times Liesl Obrecht has also fallen for the bad guy. That's kind of all she falls for. Cesar Faison consumed her for decades, long after they were over even. She couldn't get enough of his sinister charms and brilliant mind, even when he was using it for all the wrong things. She still chases that kind of excitement, but back then, she loved him to the detriment of her children, Nathan West and Britt Westbourne. A romance with Victor Cassadine later on proved she hasn't outgrown her taste for very bad boys. Thankfully, she has mellowed a bit in her later life and embraced Scott Baldwin, though he's certainly no choir boy. Last but not least, there may be no one more akin to Willow's wild behavior than her twin sister, Nell. With us for only a relatively short time, Nell didn't dabble in relationships too heavily, but her motive was always the same. If Nell needed something, she would go all in on a relationship to get it. She made every bit as much of a disaster out of her relationship with Michael as Willow has. Her relationship with Harrison Chase preceded her Port Chuck reputation, but was much the same. Yes, they shared both men. In the end, Nell forced Julian Jerome to marry her so she could try to gain custody of Wiley Corinthos. Sick and twisted seems to sum up the women in this family. Willow has a lot of years ahead of her before she learns the lessons it appears that Nina and Liesl have. We hope. Stay tuned for more GH news and spoilers up next. In a stunning twist on General Hospital, Robert Scorpio is revealed as Sasha Gilmore's father after DNA results confirm their family connection. Yet, rather than a joyous moment, this discovery plunges Sasha into turmoil, complicating her strained relationship with Cody Bell and leaving her at a crossroads. For Sasha, learning Robert is her father is both a blessing and a curse. Longing for a family, she now faces the shock of discovering her father, alongside the heartache of a failing romance with Cody. This revelation forces her to confront whether she can salvage her relationship or if she must move on, bearing the weight of her family's complicated past. Robert's reaction to Sasha's arrival wasn't as shocked as viewers expected, fueling speculation. Some fans believe Robert may have had suspicions all along or even known the truth beforehand. Could he truly be Sasha's father, or is he part of a more elaborate scheme? A central mystery remains. Is Robert part of a deception meant to protect Sasha? His integrity makes fans question if he would knowingly lie, but in the world of General Hospital, unexpected twists are common. If Robert is deceiving Sasha, it may be in an effort to shield her from an unknown danger. The role of Holly Sutton adds another layer of intrigue. As a skilled manipulator with a complex history with Robert, Holly may have orchestrated this paternity revelation for reasons unknown. Her involvement raises the question of whether she's protecting Sasha from a greater threat, even if it means manipulating Robert and risking their relationship. As the truth begins to unravel, Robert faces a difficult choice: to continue protecting Sasha or to expose the lie and confront Holly. Meanwhile, Sasha's journey is far from over as she grapples with her family's tangled legacy and an uncertain future. This revelation is just the beginning of a high-stakes drama that could redefine relationships on General Hospital. Viewers will be eagerly waiting to see what shocking twists lie ahead for Robert, Sasha, and Holly in Port Charles. The battle lines have been drawn, and this time, the war isn't unfolding on screen. It's erupting across the General Hospital fandom. At the center of the storm is one question no one can seem to agree on. If Chad Duell wants to return as Michael Corinthos, should the show take him back? For more than a decade, Chad Duell was Michael Corinthos. Viewers watched him grow up, fall apart, rebuild, and become a cornerstone of one of Port Charles's most powerful families. His portrayal wasn't just familiar, it was formative. For many, Michael's identity is inseparable from Duell's performance, built over years of trauma, loyalty, and emotional evolution. But times have changed. Since stepping into the role, Rory Gibson has done something many believed was impossible. He didn't just survive the transition, he thrived. Bringing a darker, sharper, more volatile edge to Michael, Gibson's portrayal has re-energized the character in ways few expected. His version feels raw, unpredictable, and deeply rooted in the Corinthos legacy. For a growing segment of the audience, this is the Michael who finally makes sense. That's where the conflict ignites. On one side are those loyal to history. They argue that 15 years of emotional investment can't be erased or replaced. For them, Michael's soul was shaped by Duell's performance, and any recast, no matter how talented, feels like a fracture that never truly healed. Nostalgia isn't just sentiment here. It's memory, attachment, and identity. On the other side are viewers who see evolution as necessary. They believe Gibson unlocked a version of Michael that was always buried under restraint. A man shaped by violence, betrayal, and power who finally looks like Sonny Corinthos' son. For them, returning to the past would be regression, not restoration.
The problem for General Hospital is that both sides are right. If Chad Duell were to express interest in returning, the show would face a no-win scenario. Bringing him back could alienate fans who've embraced Gibson and reignited their connection to Michael. Refusing him risks angering longtime viewers who never emotionally moved on. Either decision carries consequences, and neither guarantees peace. This isn't just a casting issue. It's a question of identity. What is Michael Corinthos meant to be in 2026 and beyond? A continuation of the past, or a reflection of where the story is going? Social media has become a battleground, with debates growing more heated by the day. Emotions are raw, loyalty is personal, and no one is playing nice. What was once a quiet discussion has turned into a full-scale civil war within the fandom. Behind the scenes, the pressure is just as intense. Legacy characters carry weight, not just creatively, but emotionally and commercially. The wrong move could fracture trust that took decades to build. One thing is undeniable. This is no ordinary recast debate. This is a fight for the very soul of a legacy character, and General Hospital is standing at a crossroads that could redefine its future. Whatever happens next, Port Charles will not be the same. ABC. General Hospital spoilers for Wednesday, January 21st reveal a day heavy with tension, secrets, and turning points that threaten to redraw the power lines across Port Charles. Na remained close to Kai Taylor, her voice calm and measured even as fear vibrated just beneath the surface. She could see the strain in him, the way his gaze darkened every time Willow Tate was mentioned.
Kai wasn't simply holding on to information anymore. He was carrying the truth about her crime, and that truth hummed between them like a live wire, unstable and dangerous. Na feared what might happen if Kai finally cracked under the pressure. More than that, she feared what Willow might do if she sensed her carefully constructed world beginning to collapse. The closer Na stood to Kai, the more she realized she wasn't guiding him forward at all. She was trying to keep him from becoming the spark that could ignite total destruction. Meanwhile, the devastating news Lucas Jones carried was meant for only one man. When Lucas revealed to Dante Falconeri that Anna Devane had been captured, the ground seemed to tilt beneath Dante's feet. Panic hit him hard and fast, shattering his composure and drowning every rational thought. This wasn't just another crisis. It ripped open an old wound and forced Dante into a terrifying new reality. That revelation marked the start of a darker chapter for him, one that would push Dante toward choices he never imagined making, driven by fear, loyalty, and desperation. Across town, Laura Collins felt her resolve fracture when Jens Sidwell escalated his blackmail. Each threat was sharper, more calculated than the last. This was no longer intimidation. It was a full-scale power play meant to corner her and dismantle everything she had built. The pressure crushed in on her chest as she realized Sidwell still held dangerous leverage. This wasn't personal anymore. It was war. Laura understood she and Sonny Corinthos could no longer afford quiet responses or cautious moves. Sidwell's escalation demanded a bold strategy, one powerful enough to break his grip before he detonated the secrets he was hoarding. Elsewhere, Jocelyn Jacks arrived with crisp precision, but the moment Jack Brennan briefed her, the air tightened. Anna was missing. The trail was cold, and the operation behind it reached far beyond standard protocol, deep into shadow territory. Something shifted inside Joss as she absorbed the details. Focus sharpened. Resolve hardened. This wasn't just another assignment. This was the moment she stepped fully into the power she had been training for. Joss understood that finding Anna meant dismantling Pascal's entire network, exposing every layer of manipulation he had hidden behind polished lies. Brennan saw it too. The way Joss's determination transformed into something neither he nor Pascal could control. And as she moved forward, one truth echoed beneath every breath. Once she cracked Pascal's playbook, his entire operation would collapse. Finally, Jason Morgan hesitated only briefly before grasping how dangerous Tracy Quartermain's unexpected offer truly was. It wasn't just a deal. It was a crossroads. Accepting meant stepping into a political war he never wanted. Refusing meant leaving Michael Corinthos exposed as threats closed in from every direction. Harrison Chase pushing harder. Drew growing more unstable. Willow hiding a truth sharp enough to destroy lives. Jason felt the weight settle over him like familiar armor. Tracy's offer wasn't clean or simple, but it opened a path that allowed him to counter every threat circling Michael. Choosing this alliance would ignite a new conflict, forcing Jason into a more ruthless role than ever before. And as he stepped into Tracy's deal, one thing became clear. Protecting Michael meant declaring war on anyone who thought they could break him. Subscribe for more video.